right, Josie, this one's for you. You're the only person that I would put this on the internet for, but I love you. So, I have already washed my face and I have already put on primer. You don't really need primer unless you don't use moisturizer. If you don't use moisturizer, then you probably should use primer. I'm mostly just using it because I bought it. I don't really like it. I just don't want to waste it. Then I get my eyeshadow primer, and it's NYX. It's something like $5, but it helps the colors stay put. And if the colors don't stay put, then it doesn't look pretty. So put a little bit of this on each eye. I'm about out. There we go. I got a good bunch on that. And tap it till it's everywhere that I'm gonna want eyeshadow, which means I also tap it under my eyes. I do not use concealer under my eyes because I'm getting old and it creases. So I've tried a few different eyeshadow primers, and I think that this NYX high definition professional blah 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 is probably my favorite because my eyes are really hooded. As you can tell, I have no visible upper lid. It just kind of like, and when I close my eyes and open my eyes, creases form right here. But this stuff is actually pretty good, and it does not crease like almost everything else that I have ever put on my eyes. Next, I get whatever color I'm going to be using, and I don't know what I'm doing today. Maybe purple? I'm wearing a green shirt, so purple is good. This is my eyeshadow bag. I have a problem. It's too much. But I have every color you could possibly want. This is probably one of my favorite, just all-purpose. It's blacks, whites, and grays. I use it for almost everything. And then, trying to decide which color purple I want to use. I like this one. It's a little bit softer, a little bit more neutral. But what's in here? Still looking. These might be too dark. I don't know. I'll keep it out just in case. So I now have 2 purple options. I like you a lot, and it's my pleasure. Both of them are by ColourPop. I am kind of addicted to ColourPop and their monochromatic palettes. I have a whole rainbow. That's why I have it in the bag. It's a little excessive. Okay. So the first thing I do is I start with the lightest color. And that's probably contrary to what some people do, but it's just how I do it. And lightest color is going to be white, and they call it Young Love. I guess it's because it's supposed to be innocent. And I have a whole plethora of brushes over here in my Ravenclaw cauldron because it's witchcraft, makeup witchcraft. Because you can change your shape. And I will put white. It's just a light dusting of white all over. That's going to set my primer that I put on and make sure it doesn't get too creasy or sticky or whatever, because it is kind of sticky and I don't like the way it feels, and it's hard to blend colors on the sticky because the brush doesn't move. And I know a lot of people on the YouTubes just do one eye and then they go back off camera and do the other eye, but I am not that good. If I don't do them both at the same time, I'll forget what color I used, and I'll forget exactly where I put it. And also it makes it harder to use this like the same brush more than once, because if you have to go in with the same brush into a light shade again, then you have to clean it, and I just don't have time for that. Waiting for it to dry and all that stuff. But I did find this really cool thing, and I'm just kind of rambling at this point. I found this really cool thing on Shine, I think, but they've got them all over the place. And it is a, what do they call it? I don't even know. It's a brush cleaner, but it's got a little black sponge in here. It's just a little black coarse sponge. You could probably just buy one of these for super cheap from like the hardware store. But once you're done with a color, if you need to use the same brush again, you just swirl it on this little black sponge and it knocks off all the pigment, and then you can use the same brush again. It doesn't like deep clean it, but it just knocks off the powder, which is actually pretty cool. Next, I'll do my next lighter color, and I think I'm gonna go with Zoned Out. That's this light lavender here. And there's no need to get a whole heck of a lot of stuff on your brush at one time. It takes longer, but if you just get a little bit at a time, then it won't fall out and wind up all down here. You can always add more, and it's really, really hard to take off without ruining everything. I'm putting this in the inner corner and most of the way over, and I'm just kind of, I'm not brushing, I'm not swiping, I'm tapping, because when you swipe, you kind of wipe it off. If you tap, you put it down and it stays there. At least that's what works for me. And I'm going almost all the way over. I'm not going to do the outer edge because I actually want that to be darker, and so I don't necessarily need to put the light color over there. Putting my personal opinion, taking the light color all the way through anywhere that you want a transition shade or blend, it lets you blend it better. And then, and my eyes never look the same. I cannot get each eye to look the same. So I just have to pretend and tell myself that it is okay. After I kind of get it where I want it, since my eyes are so hooded, I go back with my eyes open and I kind of smoke the top edge. My cats think I'm talking to them, because now Puss is up here. Puss, get. So it's hard to see on the camera. This lighting is not great, and I apologize, but there, does that help? You can kind of see where it's up here in my inner corners. Then the next shade I'm going to do is only a little bit darker, and it is in It's My Pleasure, and it is called Kittenfish. They've got some strange color names. Just roll with it. Tap it. And start that like right about where the color of my iris would be, right where it starts. And pat that on to the middle. Plus, quit trying to steal my makeup brush. Pardon me. Get down. Get down. Thank you. It's only a little bit darker, but it's a different, kind of like a different hue, I guess. It's going to blend into the darker color and just sort of fade fade into it. And that's going to go all over the middle, like where the iris is. And then up to the corresponding area under my brow bone, since I have no crease. No usable crease. I guess I should clarify that. So, I don't know if let me see if I can. There. So you can see it's kind of just a shade. It's a fade. Getting a little darker. A little darker. And then I gotta decide if I want to have shimmers or glitters. Do I want shimmers or glitters? I don't know. Please ignore the cat destroying everything in the background. He plays fetch and he has a mousey and he wants me to throw it for him, so he's showing out. The next color that I think I'll use is back into the Lilac You a Lot, and it's called Filtered, and it's kind of getting darker. This is going to be outer edge only, and I will tap that on there with my eye slightly closed to get the line started. Then I open my eye back up and I cat eye it up. If you make your eyeshadow, thank you, Gigi. If you make your eyeshadow go down too far, it makes your eyes look droopy. So I'm going to cat eye it up just a little. I'm still using this same fluffy brush. And then I'm going to swipe it back over the top. So it's going to kind of make a fake crease. And because I don't have one that's usable. And I am not getting a lot of color on this brush. I'm just kind of like tapping it in there once, maybe twice. And patting it on where I want it, and then brushing it to blend it. Very, very light. And then back over the top, just a little bit. And they never look the same, and that's frustrating, but. And then to keep the lines soft, I go back over the edge of the darkest spot and just kind of swirl it a little and blend it to soften the edges of it so it fades into the other colors. Gigi, you are obnoxious. Go, shoo. Thank you. Get down. Cats. And that's like about it. I am almost done. Next, last, I will take whatever is on my brush and go under the bottom edge. It's not going to leave a lot of color at this point. But what it will do is it'll create a little blurry bit of color that will soften when I go in there with a darker color. Not really soften, but it'll soften the edges of my darker color. Next, I have this little pencil bullet brush here. It's called a detail brush, and I'm going to use this color here. It's called Chiclet. It's My Pleasure, and it's a little shimmery. I'm going to tap into that and put it also right on this outer edge, but a smaller section than what I did before. And this is going to be my darkest, and it's going to kind of create a cat eye, because I cheat and I don't like trying to use eyeliner most of the time. So I kind of create a little bit of a cat eye eyeliner look with my darkest color. This lighting is truly abysmal. But again, with my eye all the way open, so that I am creating that fake crease look. And same color, still Chiclet. And I will take this down into my lower lashes. Like actually in the lashes, not trying to go under, not trying to do the whole lower lid, although it kind of winds up getting there. I go over my lashes directly, and then I think it's softer. I think it's softer the way it blends down, and you don't wind up with a lot of color all way up under your eyes with that raccoon look. And I know that's kind of a thing right now, but it's not my thing. I think I need to go back in with a little more Kitten Fish. That was color pop. That was my medium color, and I'm going to clean up my eyelid just a little bit because that dark color wound up smearing into the lid area, which isn't where I wanted it. But since I went in with it so lightly, I'm able to kind of clean it up with my previous color. And that will also soften this line up here if I need to. Lastly, I'm going to get some Do or Dough. It's shimmery. And I will get a flatter brush to tap this on, and just a little bit. You can't even see the makeup on the brush. is there. And I will put that shimmery, little bit of shimmer just on my inner corner, tear duct area, and carry it under and blend it with my outer color. I feel like that might have been a little too dark. And since I don't want it to be that dark on my inner corners, I'll go back and get some more white and just soften it. I use this white all the time. It is great for mistakes. That's it. I'm essentially done. I do have purple eyeliner, but it's not my favorite. So what I'll do is I will get an angled brush, and I'm going to go in with the same color that I used for my outer corner, Chiclet, and It's My Pleasure. And I will tap some on here, and I will line my eyes with that. This also is a lot more forgiving if you have kind of like crepey eyelids, you know, that want to try to wrinkle when you're putting on your eyeliner, making those staggered lines and creases. Because the powder is very forgiving, and you can kind of blend it into all the little edges and creases and take it all the way down to the root of your lashes a lot easier, in my opinion. I'm probably never going to buy eyeliner again. I do have some, but this is just easier. And I will take this up and sharpen that cat eye effect. Make it a little bit more like a winged liner. And since everything is all the same colors, from the eyeshadow to the quote-unquote eyeliner, it all goes really well. Like it blends together and it all looks like it was just meant to be. Meant to be. And if you make a mistake and you get it way too wide, or you just really don't like the way it looks, you can blend it out and make it look like part of your eyeshadow. It makes it a lot easier to fix mistakes. And when you're trying to do your cat eyes, start at your lower lash line and just flick it up. And then with your eye open, bring that line in. And then if you're like me and you have hooded eyes, when you go to connect those lines, it's going to make a bat wing, almost like a box. And it's not going to look like a cat eye with your eyes shut. but it will look like a cat eye with your eye open. Thank you, Robert Welsh. There. With the lights off and just the light coming in through the window, you can kind of, it looks nicer. It looks much nicer. This light's unforgiving. Totally unforgiving. And that's it. Then I'm gonna take my angled brush again, and I'm gonna use my little dew jobber. Yeah. Brush off all the purple. And I'm gonna take some school glue, not a lot, and a spoolie. And some people use soap. I saw a video with somebody using glue to block their eyebrows, like to hide them. And I was like, well, I bet I could use that to tame my eyebrows. And I can. It totally works. And I don't have to keep a bar of soap, an open bar of soap in my makeup box. And I just put a very little bit, because I'm not trying to block my eyebrows. I'm just using it to shape them. And I comb through them till they're where I want them. I'm so glad normal eyebrows are back in fashion, because I ain't never plucking my eyebrows. I tried that back in the 90s and it just didn't work. I couldn't get them to look right. I couldn't get them the same shape. So fortunately, fashion is now to where I can have my just normal old eyebrows and they are fine. Getting harder to see though as I get older. They're probably going gray. Gray eyebrows. That's it. That's all I do for my eyebrows. To shape them and make them look right. That's it. But then why did I clean off my brush? Hold on. I'm getting there. Because this is Too Faced Naturally Matte. And it is all the browns and nudes and things. And I pick whichever color I want to use for my eyebrows today. It's usually Risque. And I use my same liner brush. And I go under, just under my eyebrow, and make a line. A soft line, but a line. And I put that line wherever I want my eyebrow to be on the bottom. Already, my eyebrows look almost like better. They look better already. Just with that one line, just one line. And I do the same thing on the other side, and they never look the same, but neither do my eyebrows, so. This one has a scar in it from a cat when I was like 3. Cats. Then I take this same brush, and in the front of my eyebrow, I just kind of go up a little to carry the color up. A little bit more color, but not a lot. And I'm doing it really, really gentle. And I'm also blurring and softening the line that I made. I'm not trying to create an eyebrow. I'm just sort of darkening the one I've got. Because I ain't got them kind of artistic skills to draw a whole eyebrow. But I go really soft, just kind of letting the glue hold the pigment on my eyebrow. It's not a fake eyebrow. It's not a drawn eyebrow. It's just my eyebrow with a little bit of eyeshadow in it to make it a little bit darker, a little bit fuller, because they get a little sparse in my old age. Honestly, I think it's the gray. And this angled brush, as long as I'm careful, it's not wider than my eyebrow. I mean, it's the same. It's actually a little bit smaller than the widest part of my eyebrow. So I can kind of just go, and I keep it. I'm having a hard time explaining it, but I just like that, and then I blend it. So that way it goes through and it's soft, and it doesn't look like a hard line of eyebrow. And with whatever's left, the little bitty remainder of whatever pigment is left, that's what I use for my tail. Because the tail of your eyebrow is not thick and harsh anyway. So just a little bit. And that's it. That's all I do for my eyebrows. And I'm almost done with my eyes. Almost. The only thing left that I would do normally would be lashes. But those come last. Next, I'm going to take my concealer that is in here. I know it is. Concealer. This is not my favorite concealer. This is Tarte Shape Tape, and I think it honestly dries cakey and looks awful. So I don't use it much on my face. But it's convenient for around my eyebrows, so I don't waste it. I have these little bitty oval brushes. I got them from Vanity Planet. I got a whole set of these things. And let me tell you, they are amazing. And I just take this around my eyebrow very lightly. One thing about these brushes is they do not absorb any product. None. So you don't need to use as much as you might normally use. Then I just kind of like, it's almost like using a little bitty toothbrush. And it's very precise, and it's very convenient because I can't draw a straight line to save my life, but I can connect the dots. So I just went under my eyebrow and cleaned up any spots that might have had a little extra pigment under there. Softened that edge. And then I blended back over it with this. I didn't put anything else on it. This is just the brush that I used for my eyeshadow. So whatever little bit of eyeshadow is still on it, that's all that is getting used for my blending cleanup there. And the reason I'm doing this with a little bit of concealer is because it's really hard to get in with my foundation this close without making a mess. This is not an everyday look. This is not, I mean, normally if I was going to go, if I woke up early enough to put makeup on before school, it's just going to be a little bit of eyeshadow, maybe. I mean, why am I going to bother with makeup when my mask is just going to rub it off anyway? But I don't know if you can see that, but there is like next to no product on that brush, and it goes a long way. So these brushes, I think, are really worth, I have glitter on my face still, are really worth of the investment just in the amount of money they'll save you from how much product that you won't be using. Especially if you're going to invest in any kind of expensive foundation or expensive concealers and stuff. I mean, if you're just going to go buy stuff from the Dollar Tree or the Walmarts, then whatever. Might not be worth it. But I think that if you're going to go and invest in something like Il Makiage or Chanel or one of them, $50 frickin' foundations and concealers, you want that stuff to go as far as it will go. And these little brushes will make it go because they will not absorb anything. Everything on these brushes either winds up on your skin or winds up having to get washed off because they are not soaking it in. Sorry, I'm like sniffing. It is pollen season. And everything is blooming. I will also take whatever little bit is left on this little brush and I'll kind of go around my eyeshadow a little bit, because I don't want to take my big foundation brush in that close to my eyes because it will make a mess of my eyeshadow. So anywhere that is a little tight or a little small, I'll use this little brush. One more again with this, just to soften up the appearance of where I put that concealer to tighten up my brows. Ta-da! I am the mask. The masked menace. Alright, I believe I am done with my eyeshadows, so I will put them away, out of my way. I'm actually in my dining room, because I don't have anywhere else that has enough room for me to sprawl out and put all my stuff. And in case anybody was wondering, yes, my eyeshadows are arranged by Roy G. Biv. I am that weird. I'd show you, but I don't think I'd be able to get the camera back right. All right. Actually only have a few spots that might need concealer, but I'm not going to use it because I'm going to show you this. This is color 35. It's a little more pink than the color I used last time, and I'm going to again use one of these oval brushes, and I'm not going to use much. I'm going to use one squirt. They tell you to use 2 squirts for your whole face, but with these brushes, it is not necessary. This is probably too much. So I'll dot it all over just so it's like kind of more evenly distributed. And look, there is still makeup on the brush. So it does not look good right now, but I promise these brushes are amazing. I wish they were paying me for this, because I want to tell everybody that these brushes are amazing. I got some prettier ones too from Moda that I got in a mystery box. And that's what made me go and get this set, because this set is actually the one where I've got the little teeny brushes that I can use for all over the place. But the Moda brushes are actually my favorite for texture and the finish, like the way it looks when it's done. They have a smoother finish than these ones, I think. But like, I don't need a beauty blender no more. Beauty blenders absorb like all of your product too. They soak it up because they're sponges. And this does not. This goes like whatever you want on your face is going to go on your face. It doesn't take as long to use these either as it does the beauty blenders. And I can take this and I can brush it all the way back into my hairline and get everything all even. The beauty blenders don't do that very well. See, honestly, at this point, I think this looks horrible. Because it's so flat. And so matte. But I ain't fixing to waste it because this is $44 a bottle. I had a coupon. I had a coupon for like $20 off or something. So I kind of got it for half price. I did that try it before you buy it deal. And I didn't like it. So I sent it back. And then they gave me a coupon to try something else if I wanted to. So I used the coupon. And I like this better. It kind of matches me a little better. I still think it's a little too light. But when it oxidizes, it'll get a little darker and it'll look better. But ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, and by the way, this stuff stains. So I had a white tank top on the first time I tried it, and I accidentally got foundation on my chest. It's still there. My husband bleached it and everything. It's still there. Alright, I don't like having base on my lips because it messes with my lipstick, makes it look cakey. So, but it's kind of like avoiding them altogether isn't going to work out too well. I'm going to wipe this off before it gets too dry. Okay. And you can see it's already starting to oxidize some. It's starting to get a little darker and starting to look more like me. With this light off, it really looks much better. Okay. Next, to not look like I am wearing a mask, a complete mask, I'm going to use, again, with my little oval brushes, this is a smaller one, and I got this Tartist Pro Glow in a FabFitFun box. I think there's somebody at the front door. And I'm going to use this color Shade. It's cream. I didn't think I'd like cream, but I like cream. And I start at the top of my ear and just come down to follow where my cheekbone should be. If I wasn't so fat, I'd have a cheekbone. And then I kind of create a triangle that goes along with the shape of my ear. So here to here. And I just taper it, almost like cat tabby markings. And these brushes blend so good. Yep, that's FedEx. They just rang the doorbell. That beeper, beeper. It's our little anemic doorbell. Fortunately, it's not raining, so I'll go get that, whatever it is, later. It's probably cat food. I love Chewy. They deliver just like clockwork. And again, over here, following the line of where my cheekbone ought to be. And blending that so it's soft and it doesn't look like I'm intentionally trying to paint myself up like a tabby cat. And I always wind up getting one cheek looking better than the other. Always. And it's never the same cheek. I didn't even know what highlight and contour was until Melanie told me about it, Lee's wife. She was talking about some H&C, and I'm like, what the heck is some H&C? Highlight and contour. Girl, I ain't got time for all that. And look at me now. Alright. And then whatever is left on the brush, I just kind of blend that towards my lips so that it fades to a more natural sort of, just fades out more naturally. It's not like a harsh line. Ta-da! I have cheekbones. And again, up here, and all I did literally was just tap, tap, tap. Like these brushes are, they'll pick it up and they'll lay it down and they will not hold on to an iota. When I wanted to clean these things, I fully expected to have a whole bunch of product come out all over the sink, you know, so I could see. I was like, why in the world am I cleaning these? They ain't got nothing in there. All right. Gigi. Lay down. Good boy. This cat hates to be separated from me. He's my little shadow. I know a lot of people will do like a 3. That's what they say that you do. You do a 3. I don't do a 3. I just do a little bit around my hairline, my jaws, my cheekbones, the jaws where I should have a jaw and not just big old fat jowls. I line it. Probably should have taken off my earrings. I did not get those the same. Dadgummit. And my double chin here. I gotta get rid of that thing. I'm trying to lose it. And that will create the illusion of a shadow where there's really not one. And if I blend it really good, it will minimize the appearance of my double chin. If I don't blend it really good, it makes me look like I got a beard or a dirty neck. My God, too much. I'm still getting used to using these oval brushes. They seriously do not take much product at all to make a impact. So I'm still used to using a regular old bristle brush, a regular old paintbrush looking brush. And these just, they don't need all of that. Just a tiny bit. And again with the nose, because I don't like my fat bulbous nose. So I'm going to give myself a fake nose job. And again with the thank you, Robert Welsh. He said wherever your nostrils are, if you want to thin that, that's where you put it. And he says, you know, you see a lot of people on YouTube that carry the shading all the way up here, but that doesn't create an illusion. All that does is accentuate the shape of your nose as it is. So if you just want to create the illusion that the end of your nose is a little thinner, then that's where you put the shadows. right on where you want it to look a little thinner. And I don't know if it's as effective as I think it is, but I think it does make my nose look a little thinner, a little bit less like a bulb, a little bit more like a schnoz. Sometimes I'll put a little bit under here too, and it'll make my bottom lip look a little fuller, but it doesn't do much good when I put my jewelry in, so I don't do that very often. And there, now I have a three-dimensional face again. And then I'm gonna get another one of these, different one this time, so it's cleaner. And I'm gonna get my highlight. I use strobe because I'm white, and you know, if the light's gonna be shining off me, the light's gonna be shining off of me white. And I put it up kind of high because I want to lift my fat face. I don't want to make it look whiter, so I put it up high. And a little bit on my nose here, and that will kind of also create the illusion of light hitting it in specific spots so that it'll make my nose look thinner, hopefully, or accentuate the attempt. Put a little bit on my upper lip, so that, because that's where light would hit, anywhere where light would hit, and a little bit here, but not a whole lot. I don't like to be all like shiny. I think it's weird. Why do I want to look like I'm sweaty? I do not set with powder, not really. But anywhere that I have not used contouring, I have this Manicadar, it's dirty, Manicadar, and this color is C3, Flawless Linen. I don't know what that means. Like, is it warm, cool, is it neutral? I don't know. But anywhere where I didn't put contouring and anywhere where I didn't put highlight, I put a little bit of powder, and that also helps with the color, like the three-dimensional aspect, because you don't want to be flat, and it will help even out, like if the color is the wrong color, it'll help even out the color. Or if you got too much contour, like I kind of did around here, you can soften that up with a little powder. Correcting problems. And then, we don't talk about blush very much anymore because people just about don't use it anymore. But if you don't want to look sickly pale, you should probably use a little bit of blush. So I have, this is called Quirky, and it was a Tarte birthday thingy. Got a thingy for my birthday. And I just put it lightly wherever the sun would hit me if I was going to go outside, which I don't, which is why I'm not pink already. But I just put a little bit wherever the sun would hit me so that it looks like, you know, maybe I've got some color to my face. Not a lot. Nobody should look at my face and go, good God, girl, you got on a whole lot of blush. Mm-mm. That's it. All done. Now, I have no idea what color lipstick to put on with this. Like, none whatsoever. What have I got over here? And the last time I wore purple, I wore a really dark lipstick. But I don't think I need a really, really dark lipstick with this color. So what do I got? Ring Pop, Sun Bunny, Friend Zone. Sun Bunny might work. shimmery. Might be a little bit too mauve. Nope, I think that'll work. This is Sugarpill. Sugarpill, this was their Valentine's collection. I know I probably should have lined my lips first. But honestly, I never think about that until it's too late. And I don't have a liner that would actually go with this lip color. So seriously, Sugarpill lipsticks, they're my favorite. My favorite red in the whole wide world is their color Nurse. Is beautiful. It is the epic red, like the red. The only red that you will ever need. Red. Okay, last. This is it. This is the end. We're almost there. These are Sugarpill Lashes. I think they are Lullaby, I think is what these are. I don't know. But even as big as my eyes are, I had to trim off a decent sized section. So if you're not trimming your lashes, Gigi, don't. Gigi thinks that these are bugs, I guess, to eat. I don't know. Cat, you are rotten. I love this cat. He's my buddy. He's gonna start snoring in a minute. Okay. I never did get out my purple eyeliner. Whatever. Mascara is Lash Princess. I totally got this because I watched Bailey Sarian and she said that she loves it and she can't tell the difference between it and the way more expensive mascaras. So I'm like, well, crap. If you can't tell the difference, I ain't spending the money on the expensive mascaras. Besides, I use fake lashes all the time. And the only thing I use it for is to blend my eyelashes into my fake eyelashes. And I won't wear mascara to work because the mask steams my eyes up and my mascara winds up making me look like a drug addict or something. It's terrible. So I don't even bother with makeup at work. Most days. Some days I wake up early. And with fake lashes, I was watching a video of some drag queen. And you want to watch a makeup video to figure out how to do some stuff? Go look up drag queen tutorials. I mean, I'm just saying. Them dudes can make miracles happen with makeup. And I have learned some tips. But you gotta let the glue dry. That's like the biggest thing. You gotta let the glue dry. So I have Duo and I have Kiss. And honestly, now that I have learned how to better do this, I actually like the cheaper Kiss better because it's thinner. It's got a little applicator. And all I gotta do is swipe it and wait a little while. Right now you can see, maybe you can see, it's kind of white. That didn't help. I keep trying to get my camera to focus and it just won't do it. Wait until it's almost clear and then you put them on. So this is going to take a while. Hold on.